folks, welcome to part one of a two-part tutorial series on the virtual recording process. In part two, we're going to pay attention to the audio side of the equation. So in part one, let's pay attention to the video side of it, the visual. Your first decision that you need to make is what device you're going to use to record your video. Our recommendation is that you use the camera on your phone. In fact, if you can use the back camera, that's the higher quality of the cameras, but even if you use the front camera, it's still considerably superior to most webcams, to most laptop cameras or desktop cameras. Now, second thing to tick off your checklist is the positioning of that camera. We want it to be in landscape mode. That's this wide mode as opposed to the long, thin version. It just shows up better when we put it all together in a virtual recording. Number three, let's pay attention to our positioning on camera. Essentially, you want to be kind of from, mid upper torso up to, just above your head. You don't want to have this kind of image where you've got, half of the screen being your backdrop. Neither do you want to be completely cut off from the image. So kind of find the nice middle ground. The next thing with that positioning is make sure you are not centered on your phone, but centered on the end of your phone where the camera is. That will position your body in the center of the camera shot. Great. Let's pay attention to next thing on our checklist, which will be lighting. As you can see in my space, I have a natural light source that's coming from a window on my right side. And you can see half of my face is considerably brighter than the other half of my face. You can use your ring light to make an adjustment to compensate in order to balance out the light feature. So let's try that. I'll turn it on. Ooh, pretty good. That's actually a pretty reasonable balance between the left side of my face and the right side of my face. Of course, you can make adjustments. I could make that considerably brighter if I needed to, but that'll probably brighten up too much on the left side. Or I can even change the coloring to balance out what we need to see. Okay, I think that's pretty reasonable. I have a pretty decent balance between my left and right. The only thing you can notice in my shot is I have a little bit of shadow coming in behind me. So if I had another light, I would be able to put that on the back side of me, and that would take away some of the shadow that's coming in behind me. Which raises the important question of what's happening in the background. This is 4 or 5 on your checklist. Try to shoot your photo or your picture, your video, virtual recording on a clean background. If there's too much clutter, too much information going on in the background, that's probably far less than ideal. Much better to have something clean in the background, preferably something on a lighter color so that it's not a black backdrop. Let's see, we've gone through the device you need to choose. We've gone through how to position that device in landscape mode. We should probably say something about what is holding your camera in place. And that can either be a tripod mount, or you can use one of those clamp mounts that position the camera on a desktop. The key piece being here is that you shouldn't have somebody holding the camera and bouncing around while you're trying to do your virtual recording. You want it to be steady, consistent, staying in the same place overall. Then we talked about our position in the shot, and then we paid attention to the lighting. We've looked at the backdrop, and the last thing we want to pay attention to is your microphone placement. So as we're having this discussion, I have placed my microphone just below, and here I'll tip it up, just below my shot. So it's just out of my shot, but it's close enough that it's picking up a decent amount of my voice. In fact, it's about 1.5 feet away from my voice. This way I can do my audio recording directly to my computer through a microphone, which will be a higher quality than what my camera phone would use, or my smartphone would use. Great, I think that's our checklist. That's everything, hopefully, that you need to know for your virtual recording. Just go through the checklist, make sure you've got them all organized and in place, and then we're good to go. Have fun.